You know exactly what you are doing is destructive. You can see the consequences lining up right in front of you, and yet you do it anyway, slowly sinking deeper into the exact destructive behavior you swore you would stop. Then comes the crash, the immediate wave of guilt, followed by the negotiation. You promise yourself with total sincerity that this was the last time. This failure is widely dismissed as a simple lack of willpower, a label that ignores the hostile biological hijack occurring beneath the surface. Breaking free requires more than a resolution. It requires decoding and overriding the specific biological hack. Look right behind your forehead. This is the prefrontal cortex. It's the neurological center for logic, understanding, and long-term planning. It's the part of you that sets goals. Deep underneath lies the basal ganglia. This is your primitive engine. It doesn't care about your future. It only executes automatic behaviors. When you experience psychological stress or exhaustion, your brain gets overwhelmed. The prefrontal cortex, your logic center, goes dark. The moment that higher-order logic fails, the basal ganglia instantly takes the wheel. You are now running purely on autopilot. Your brain is designed to do this. It defaults to the path of least resistance to conserve energy during a crisis. Consciously knowing a habit is bad becomes entirely irrelevant the moment the biological hardware for your logic is powered off. We assume people repeat destructive behaviors because they are actively seeking pleasure or a tangible reward. This chart reveals your neurochemistry during a habit cycle. It begins with a severe deficit. You aren't chasing a high, you're experiencing an agonizing psychological itch. Watch what happens next. The massive dopamine spike occurs right here, during anticipation, well before you acquire the reward. Your brain is merely chasing the relief of the craving itself. You are trapped in an endless loop of anticipation, rather than actual satisfaction. Once the action is over, the stress drops. Your prefrontal cortex powers back online, and you're forced to look at what you just did. This creates cognitive dissonance, a severe psychological friction caused by the gap between who you intend to be and how you actually behaved. That friction is deeply uncomfortable, so your brain uses cognitive shortcuts to rewrite the narrative. You tell yourself it's been a long day, or that you'll start fresh tomorrow. Your mind prefers to lie to itself rather than undergo the heavy lifting of changing behavior. And with that justification, the destructive loop is guaranteed to survive another day. Western psychology, specifically through Sigmund Freud, calls this repetition compulsion, the unconscious drive to repeat familiar behaviors. But Eastern philosophy recognized this exact mechanism thousands of years ago. They called it a samskara. A samskara is a subconscious mental impression, a psychological footprint left behind by every action you take. Every time you repeat a habit, that footprint deepens. What starts as a faint mental line eventually erodes the stone, carving an inescapable physical groove into your neurological architecture. Repeated actions become permanent neurological scars, transforming a simple conscious choice into a predetermined destiny. Against a groove carved this deeply, your intellectual knowledge of right and wrong is powerless. You cannot think your way out of a loop. Cognitive behavioral therapy relies on a principle called behavioral activation. It means forcing the physical action first, regardless of how you feel, because action is the only thing that creates new neural pathways. This aligns with the ancient practice of abhyasa, a disciplined, repetitive behavioral practice designed to carve an entirely new network through the brain. You don't erase the old groove by arguing with it. You kill it by repeatedly executing a new path until the old one completely overgrows from neglect. Knowledge is useless without action. If you're ready to break your loop, comment the word "breakup" below and subscribe to MindUnlock for the tools to carve your new path.